Hey, welcome to Digging into the Bible. My name is Jim Barnard. This is a production of Taylor Coaching. All right, it's day 56. Thanks for joining me. We are cruising right along, but I am struggling to keep things to 5 minutes. So let's do it. Come on. Are you ready? Let's do it. We are digging in today at Matthew chapter 21, starting at verse 18. In the morning, as he was returning to the city, he became hungry, and seeing a fig tree by the wayside, he went to it and found nothing on it but only leaves. And he said to it, "May no fruit ever come from you again." And the fig tree withered at once. When the disciples saw it, they marveled, saying, "How did the fig tree wither at once?" And Jesus answered them, "Truly I say to you, if you have faith and do not doubt, you will not only do what has been done to the fig tree, but even if you say to this mountain, 'Be taken up and thrown into the sea,' it will happen. And whatever you ask in prayer, you will receive if you have faith." And when he entered the temple, the chief priests and the elders of the people came up to him as he was teaching and said, "By what authority are you doing these things, and who gave you this authority?" Jesus answered them, "I also will ask you one question, and if you tell me the answer, then I also will tell you what authority I do these things. The baptism of John, where did it come from? From heaven or from man?" And they discussed it among themselves, saying, if we say from heaven, he will say to us, "Why then did you not believe him? But if we say from man, we are afraid of the crowd, for they all hold that John was a prophet." So they answered Jesus, "We do not know." And he said to them, "Neither will I tell you by what authority I do these things." All right, so the thread here that seems very obvious to me is just asking questions of Jesus. This fig tree story is fascinating. And to be honest, it doesn't really get resolved here. There's really nothing to resolve other than just confusion. I'm confused. I bet you're confused. The disciples were definitely confused. On day 65, Jesus is going to close the loop on this. So I'm not going to go too deep on this particular story right now, other to say that, the disciples seem to ask Jesus, the wrong question. They ask him how and not why. So, Jesus answers the how question, at least now. I think later he answers the why, but, he says by prayer. By prayer, you will be able to do this kind of action. This is the second time he's telling us we can throw a mountain, away from where it is, this time to the sea. I just think it's so interesting that Jesus is answering the question that's being asked of him. I love that later on we'll see that he's answering the other question, but it's just so obvious that the disciples, could have asked anything. And, it's not that they asked the wrong question. They just didn't quite ask the right question. And then these chief priests. So I'm just going to pause there on that thought of okay, well, who are the chief priests? Are they Pharisees? Is it something different? Yeah, they're kind of something different. They're almost like uber Pharisees. The difference between them and the Pharisees is that they are people that actually have power to do something. They are community leaders or judges, but they very much are pharisaical. So hopefully that helps clears it up. I didn't use the voice for their reading today, but they ask him, "By what authority are you doing these things, and who gave you this authority?" And once again, they're asking, what and who, but they're not actually asking why. Now, they're not honestly asking to begin with. They don't actually want to know. They're just trying to trap Jesus. They're trying to put him into a corner where they can punish him. So the intentions matter. And that's why I think Jesus is going to come back and answer the disciples' question that maybe they should have asked, because their intention is right. These chief priests, their intention isn't right. So the question isn't even valid to begin with. I love that Jesus comes around and asks, a similar question and traps them. He plays the same game with them. And I just think that, it's very symptomatic of our relationship with Jesus, that we can come to him and we can ask him questions. Even if it's not the right question, we can ask it. I think he's going to answer it if our intentions are right. If we ask, a rhetorical question or a question in an accusatory manner, I don't know that he's going to really respond. But if we ask him sincerely and honestly, I believe he's going to answer us. And so with that, I didn't quite make 5 minutes. Whew. This is hard, guys, but I did pretty good. Hey, I appreciate you watching. Thank you for listening. I will see you tomorrow as we finish up Matthew chapter 21. I'll see you then.